If you're a parent trying to figure out your child's first step into school, well, it can feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle in the dark. Today, we're going to flip the lights on and give you a really clear map to this whole world of early education. You've probably heard all these words being thrown around, right? Play school, nursery, LTG, Montessori. It's enough to make your head spin. And you know what? It is completely normal to feel confused, maybe even a little anxious about it. But don't you worry. By the end of this, you are going to have a crystal clear roadmap. I want you to think of all this as a puzzle. Right now, the pieces might seem all jumbled up. Our job today is to put every single piece in its proper place, so you can see the whole picture of your child's learning journey. So let's start with the very first piece. Okay, so that very first piece of our puzzle, the foundational building block for everything else, is what we call playhome. This is literally ground zero, where the entire educational journey begins for the littlest learners. Now, notice this key phrase right here, emotional foundation. This is absolutely crucial. The main goal of Playhome isn't about learning ABCs. It's all about making a child feel safe, secure, and happy. Because that positive first impression of school, that's what builds a lifelong love of learning. So we're talking about kids as young as 1.5 years, and for them, the entire focus is on emotional security. How do they do that? Through play-based learning. This just means their whole day is built around exploring and having fun, not sitting down for formal lessons. So the bottom line is this: there is zero pressure here. The real focus is on bonding with teachers, getting over that totally normal separation anxiety a child feels, and get this, the only assessment is just a teacher observing a child while they play. It's the most gentle and nurturing start you can imagine. All right, so let's move to the next piece of the puzzle and see how it all builds. Once that emotional foundation is solid, we step into the nursery stage. And this is where we start to see a really subtle but very important shift towards building the habits of learning. The key term to focus on here is learning foundation. Now, this doesn't mean we're jumping into heavy-duty academics. Not at all. It's more about preparing the brain for learning. It's about sparking curiosity, building their attention span, and just keeping that positive attitude about school going strong. So for kids around 2.5 to 3.5, the main goal shifts over to habit formation. And you'll see the learning style becomes semi-structured. That just means there's a gentle rhythm to the day that mixes lots of free play with some fun, guided activities. So what does habit formation actually look like? Well, it's learning through activities, not lectures. They're still not sitting still for long, but they are starting to learn basic routines and how to focus on a task for a little while, which is a vital skill for everything that comes next. Okay, let's just quickly compare the two. Playhome is all about emotional security, just helping a child feel okay being away from home. Nursery then builds on that security to create learning readiness and good habits. So one is about feeling safe, and the next is about getting ready to learn. See the progression? Now we're getting to the stages that most people think of when they hear the word kindergarten. We're talking LKG and UKG, which is lower and upper kindergarten. This is where the real academic journey actually begins. Think of LKG as the academic foundation, where they introduce core concepts for the very first time. UKG then becomes the school readiness stage. It's all about preparing kids for the structure and the curriculum of the first grade. And you can see that clear progression right here. As kids move from LKG to UKG, the whole purpose shifts from just building concepts to getting them ready for big school. And the learning environment gets more and more structured to prepare them. So what does this mean for your child's day? Well, in LKG, they'll get their very first formal introduction to letters and numbers, with clear classroom roles. By the time they get to UKG, it's much more curriculum intensive. They're expected to sit and concentrate for longer periods, really mirroring what they're going to experience in first grade. So that's the ideal structure. It makes sense, right? But in the real world, all the marketing terms schools use can make things super confusing. So let's quickly decode the most common jargon you're going to run into. This is so important. Preschool is just a catch-all term for everything. Playschool usually just means those early play-based stages, like playhome or nursery. Kindergarten is very specific. It means LKG and UKG. And Montessori, well, that's a whole educational philosophy, but honestly, it's often just used as a marketing term. So you always have to ask what age and stage a Montessori program is actually for. Now, for the most important part, how do you apply all of this to your own family?
Well, the right choice depends completely on what your goals are for your child at their current age.
This is a goal that so many parents share. The number one concern is just making sure that their little one's first experience with school is a positive, happy one.
If that's your goal, then Playhome is the perfect fit. I mean, its entire purpose is built around emotional well-being, playing, and creating a happy, secure place for your child. It's a no-brainer.
But hey, maybe you have a different goal. Maybe your child is a little bit older and you feel like they're totally ready to start tackling more formal academic stuff. In that case, what you're really looking for is LKG. That's the stage that's specifically designed for the formal introduction to literacy and numeracy. If you put them in an earlier stage but have academic expectations, everyone's just going to end up frustrated. So here it is, the golden standard flow. This really sums up the whole journey. You start with that emotional foundation in Playhome. Then you move to learning habits in nursery. You build the academic foundation in LKG. And finally, you get them totally ready for school in UKG. It's a step-by-step process where each stage perfectly prepares your child for the next. And that really brings us to the final question, the one for you to take away. Now that you have this roadmap and you're thinking about your child's unique age and personality, what is the right foundation for them to be building right now? The choice is now yours to make, and you can make it with clarity and confidence.